What's up? This is the Recess Basketball Podcast. I'm Jaden, and this is Clayton, Mason, and Sean. Since this is a new podcast, we will introduce ourselves, and then afterwards we will do our top 10 of all time. So, Clayton, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Clayton. I like the Celtics. Like, they're going to win the championship.
All right, Mason, go ahead.
My name's Mason. My favorite team is the Grizzlies, and I like John Morant.
All right, Sean, go ahead.
My name's Sean.
What's your team, Sean? What's your team, Sean? Guys, let's get started on the top 10 of all time. I'll go first, and then let me find my list. At number 10, I have Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant center. The most dominant center of all time, most definitely. Strongest, definitely big, humongous. And I definitely think if he put in that work and had the Mamba mentality, then he... Guys, stop. If he put in that work and he had that Mamba mentality, like Kobe does, he would definitely be the GOAT. Next, I have Mr. Fundamental, Tim Duncan. Use that backboard. And, yeah, just a good mid-range shooter. Next, I have definitely the second best shooter of all time, Larry Bird. And then his rival, Magic Johnson. I didn't put him higher for no reason. Just no reason. At number 6, I have Stephen Curry. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time, but I don't think he's any higher than that like some people would rate him. And I think that 6 is just the perfect spot. Like, no higher, no lower. That's just the perfect spot for him. Next, I have Wilt Chamberlain at number 5. I don't have him any higher. Yeah, I don't have him any higher because he played against plumbers his whole career. And Bill Russell. He did not drop 100 against Bill Russell, so he dropped 100 against a plumber. Okay. We're going to 5, and then we're going to do the next. So, Clayton, go ahead.
I'll go ahead. Curry's the best shooter of all time. That's my 10. He's just kind of better. I don't think he's better than Shaq. Shaq just has more rings than him, so that's really what disputes it there. My 9 is Shaq, more championships, a little bit more dominant. And then Larry Bird, the best shooter of all time.
What? Wait, hold on. Did you just... Wait, hold on. Clayton, hold on. Did you just say Larry Bird's the best shooter of all time?
I despawned. I just kind of forgot.
Do you mean second best?
He's not the best shooter of all time. Maybe 20th. He's just kind of more clutch than he is a good shooter, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't really know what you're saying, but I'll go with it.
He hit some really magical passes, if you ask me. Like a 6'8" guard or something like that could pass like that and score like that. It's pretty nice. Then Will, in years to come, I don't think he deserves to be on the list. He's not going to be on it too much longer.
You think people are going to pass him up?
People like maybe Luka and stuff. And then you have Tim Duncan, obviously Mr. Fundamental, like 5 championships, which is a lot. So that's mine.
That's yours? All right. So Mason or Sean, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, Mason, go ahead.
At 10, I have Shaq, one of the most dominant players.
All right.
At 9, I have Tim Duncan. Just really good mid-range and defensive player. 8, I have Curry, which it might be a little surprising.
That's a little low. That's a little low for Curry.
I know it's a little low, but...
Dude, you're in at 6.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little too high. Like, he's being too low on Curry. Like, I think Curry's better than 8. What's holding you against Curry? Who's your 7?
My 7 is Larry Bird.
So what makes you think that the second best shooter of all time is better than the best shooter of all time?
Just because, like Clayton said, he has more of a clutch gene, you know?
I guess, but okay, that's fine, whatever.
At 6, I have Magic Johnson.
Okay.
At 5, I have Kobe.
Oh.
Just because, you know, it's Kobe. That's self-explanatory.
Why don't you have him any, like, closer to 1? Because some people, I don't know if what Sean's going to say, but, or anybody else, because I guess we haven't heard 1, 2, 3, and 4. But some people would say that Kobe's number 1, but I don't know if that's a recency bias.
I don't think that's accurate, no.
You think that's just a recency bias?
I wouldn't put Kobe at number 1.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that, but I definitely think, not... Obviously, we haven't seen, like, MJ play as we were growing up, but we haven't really seen Kobe, because he retired in 2016.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, are you ready? You can go ahead. Sean?
Oh, well, I'm not being very nice to Curry. I put Curry at 10.
Oh.
Well, yeah. And then 9, I have Shaq.
All right, wait.
And
So everyone has Shaq and Curry at like 10 and 9. So I've heard some people say that Kobe's 4. So, like, what do you think about those people? Do you think that was definitely after the championship last year? Do you think they just said that because he got another ring?
I think they're overrating him a bit.
Who?
People were saying I've heard people say
put at 4 is just
it's too high because there's people like
way too high.
I mean, I would understand it. I mean, 4 championships, like the goal of basketball is to put the ball in the hoop, and he's done the best at it.
yeah, and he's done it from farther away, and 3 is more than 2, definitely.
I mean, there could be guys, Barry West, who may have made this list if they had the 3-point line.
Yeah, definitely. I
That
mean,
is true.
he is the logo, so.
So if you think about it, I mean, you have guys like Jordan who didn't have it. I mean, he wasn't a great 3-point shooter.
Jordan did have it.
I mean, it certainly would have helped some other guys, you know?
Yeah, but
Jordan had a 3-point.
Jordan had a 3-point line.
Not for all of his career, though.
Not for
Well,
all
not
of his
in
college.
college.
Yeah.
But
Definitely, I mean, it definitely.
He would benefit from that.
It would he
most
would.
of his NBA career, he had a 3-point line.
Yeah. But, so, I think that it would definitely benefit him just, because the coaches would implement that into the system instead of, just mid-range. But, Sean, continue your list.
At 8, I have Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 7, I have Bill Russell. So he had 11 rings, but he didn't play against as good competition as there is now.
Yeah.
So that's why I put him there.
I think...
And then,
Oh, hold on.
and number 6, I have Wilt. Like, he also didn't play against that many good players.
Yeah, I think the same thing with Wilt and Bill Russell. I think that's why we don't have them as high as on our list, as some people would say, like old heads, would say like, oh, Wilt Chamberlain is my favorite player. He's the best ever. But he scored 100 against like some little plumber probably, someone who worked at a Subway. All right, did you get down to your 5 yet, Sean?
No. Number 5, I have Kobe Bean Bryant.
Definitely. He's a great scorer.
Yeah, great.
All right, so I'm going to do my top 4 now, I guess. So, Sean just had it as 5. I have Kobe Bryant. I mean, can't really argue against that. He's one of the greatest players to ever, score, and he was an amazing defender, too. Underrated in that category. And then next I have Kareem, who was the leading scorer up until this year.
Bald.
What?
Bald.
Bald? What's
Yeah.
it? What's against the shiny heads?
I know that, yeah, that's why I scored so much. I mean, shiny heads, they're just shiny, I mean, they score a lot.
Yeah, and definitely agree with that, especially after the next person on my list that we might have a bit of a dispute about. Michael Jordan at number 2.
Oh my gosh! Next you're gonna have LeBron next, so that probably means he's lost a lot of his hairline. So I guess you could call LeBron bold too.
But people are like, what's better about MJ that's not as good as LeBron?
Rings.
Okay, other than rings, like skill-wise, like him as a player. What?
Mid-range.
Mid-range, clutch.
But his 3-point...
No, not clutch. LeBron's the clutchest player of all time.
Yeah, he makes all his free throws in the clutch and everything. Definitely, 100% from the free throw line in the clutch, sure.
But I mean, Michael Jordan being like the dagger, LeBron being like more of like a slower sometimes,
Definitely, but I think having a guy who's like 6'9" who can play small ball center, but could also bring the ball up the court and run straight to the rim and dunk on anyone he wanted to, definitely gives you the upper hand in most situations. But yeah, you guessed it. I have LeBron number 1. I just think his size and athleticism is unmatched.
Well, I'm just saying. But okay, next my
All right,
number
Clay.
4
Yeah.
for my list is Kobe Bryant, one of the top 10 clutch of all time. 5 rings, Mamba mentality. Most people are known for having a Mamba mentality. Like, it's just insane. And then Kareem, love those shiny heads, man. They're just. Once you start to lose your hairline, you see greatness starting to unfold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. The hairline, it seems like it's a pattern in our list. Like, actually, in my list, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and LeBron's losing his. So 6 people on my top 10 list have shiny heads. So, maybe shiny heads is a little bit of a career booster, maybe?
Yeah, shiny heads definitely
is
definitely an energy booster.
Yeah, yes, it is.
All right.
It's not Luka. Luka would just look like a 60-year-old man. But, okay.
Luka would look terrible with a shiny head.
My next one is LeBron.
So you have LeBron at 3 or 2?
2.
So who's your 3?
Kareem, I just said that.
Oh, you did? I was not paying attention.
Yeah, shiny heads. Come on, dude.
Oh, well, so does Kobe.
So, LeBron, obviously being the crybaby he is, he's still he's still probably the most skilled athletically player that we've ever seen. He's played till he's 38 years old and will play for another year. But, you can't really argue against number 1. MJ. He's better culturally. Championships, mid-range. It's insane.
Yeah.
He's one of the best players to ever do it.
Well, obviously, he's my. I think everyone has him 1 or 2, and if you don't, then you're kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
I think KG could go at 2.
KG? Oh, geez, that's interesting. I thought you said KD, so I'm like, as a Nets fan, I was about to start crying.
KG. All right, Mason, your list.
At 4, some of you put him a little higher up. I have Bill Russell. Just because, like you said, he didn't play against the best of players. But in total, he has 11 rings, just, championships-wise. Next, I have Kareem, the bullet-head sensation. Leading scorer up until now.
I have a question. So, everyone else has Kareem on their list, or not Kareem, Bill Russell on their list, except for me. Do you, Clayton? Did you have Bill Russell on your list?
Yeah, I had Bill Russell at, I had him at, actually, well, I didn't say it, but I replaced him with Wilt. I meant to say that.
Oh.
He was actually my 6. I kind of messed up on that.
All right, well, that's okay. But what do you all think puts Bill Russell above some of the people like, who was the one that I had that you all didn't?
Wilt. I didn't have Wilt.
Yeah,
so
I didn't have Wilt either.
What puts Bill Russell above Wilt Chamberlain?
It's mostly the 11 rings. Wilt only won 1. That's 10 more seasons of rings. He beat Wilt in the playoffs, like the championship, many times. You gotta think. And the stats points wise were similar, but the rebounds were pretty identical.
How many rebounds did Wilt Chamberlain have in that one game? I'm pretty sure he set a record for like 50-something or something like that.
Yeah, I look it up.
Which, that's what put me above Wilt Chamberlain. Or put Wilt Chamberlain above Bill Russell for me. Just, he would somehow in a season, didn't he average like 50 minutes a game? Like, that's insane. That means he played every minute, plus every minute of overtime. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The ability...
And Daryl Imhoff guarded him
Who?
in that game.
Oh, in the game that he had 50 rebounds or 100 points?
100 points. I'm looking at it right now.
I wonder if we can find his plumbing
I'm
company.
looking at his stats right now.
But
His career, he averaged 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist.
all right, well, let's get back on track to Mason's top 10.
So where did I leave off? I said Kareem for 3.
Yes.
Then I have, like Clayton said, LeBron at 2. Just, I just think Michael Jordan's better.
Yeah, I guess
I never saw him play, obviously, but I just, I know stats-wise LeBron is better, but I feel like overall Michael Jordan is better than LeBron.
I'm going to look up Michael Jordan compared to LeBron stats, but...
Well, I think Jordan averages more in his career. He just didn't play as long as LeBron.
Yeah, definitely didn't play as long.
Yeah.
All right, so, Sean, you're bottom of the list.
Okay, so,
All right, hold on. Sorry. Excuse me real quick. Michael Jordan averaged 30 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. LeBron James averaged... That's over his career, obviously, not like a season. And LeBron James, over his entire career, has averaged... Let's look at Basketball Reference real quick. It's loading, sorry. LeBron has averaged 29.5. Oh, wait, sorry, that's this year. 27.2, 7.5 rebounds, and 7 assists over his career. So 27, 7, and 7.
So, I mean, you gotta think.
MJ.
3 more points and just 1. And, you gotta think. Jordan has 3 more points and 2 less assists and 1 less rebound. So, I mean, it's pretty identical.
Yeah, almost the exact same. So you could argue either one. I mean, I would just say, depending on what you think, if you're thinking of best player, I would say LeBron. If you're thinking of greatest, I would probably say MJ, but he also had, I would say, better teammates, but LeBron had Dwayne Wade, but he did have Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman on the same team.
Well, you gotta think, LeBron, that's the thing. I mean, maybe MJ, he wasn't as highly as paid as LeBron was today. You gotta think, the better team.
Well, yeah, because that was back when, money was much different than today. It was worth much more. $1 million back then was
yeah, that's why it's
$3 to $4 million today. So it was kind of rare to get paid that much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, Sean, your list.
Okay, at number 4, I have Magic Johnson. I know he's a little, I feel like that's a little close to 1, but I don't know. But at 3, I have Kareem. Second highest scoring all time. And then number 2, I have Michael Jordan. And in my eyes, he's the GOAT. But stat-wise, number 1, LeBron James is stat-wise the GOAT.
All right, so it's a split decision between the GOAT or best player of all time, whatever you want to call it, between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. So, interesting. So, all right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we should start talking about the more recent stuff instead of the all-time. I think we start with the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving trades. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So, I like the Nets, and in my opinion, I think that the Nets could have won the Kevin Durant trade just because they got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a haul of first-round picks. And I just think that overall it could be a win for the Nets because obviously Mikal Bridges kind of went crazy in those first games. Let me look up his stats.
I disagree with that because, like, you gotta think they didn't get an all-star caliber player like out of that deal. I guess Mikal Bridges, you could say that, but like
You could say Mikal Bridges is kind of also caliber.
But you gotta remember
a little more.
You have to remember, first round picks can be very important.
Yeah, I definitely... Go ahead, sorry.
Sean.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, first round picks you can get any player out of college almost, as long as it's like, especially if you have multiple of them, that's really good.
Yeah, definitely. They bring in a lot of value to other teams, especially ones that are trying to rebuild. Some teams almost become desperate and willing to trade away a lot more than other teams would. And so, you never know. Maybe one day the Kings will break down and they'll need to trade De'Aaron Fox away just to get first-round picks and need to rebuild or something along those lines. And I just think, well, since he dropped 45 against the Heat when he first, round when he came back, but then he got 13, 24, 31, and 21. Seems a little inconsistent. That's my only worry with the Kevin Durant trade.
To be honest, I think De'Aaron Fox would be happy to get traded.
Honestly.
Last season, the Kings were horrible.
Yes.
I haven't really watched any of the Kings game this year, but
Yeah.
I don't really know how they're doing. But
I mean, I guess you could say the Nets kind of got desperate trading KD.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but definitely because Kyrie got traded away. Like, Kevin Durant was very obviously going to want out, and, that's probably understandable, but knowing that your team finally started to have a little bit of a bounce back, and then your teammate, your head teammate, or your best teammate, just requests a trade randomly.
Yeah. But, what other kind of topics do we have?
Well, we could also talk about the Kyrie trade, which I haven't seen much about, but I do know that Kyrie has been playing pretty good. Let me look at his stats.
Well, last year he scored like 40.
Yeah, he's definitely been doing good with Luka. Probably way better than he's done with KD.
Yeah, he's averaging 27 flat, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And so it looks like he scored 40. Is that last night? Yeah, last night against the 70s.
Last night, Luka and Kyrie both scored 40.
Yeah, Clayton was talking about that. They had 80 points combined. Is that right?
Yeah.
He shot 75% from 3, which I'm assuming he's shot like 3 for 4. But and then against the Pacers, though, he had 16 in 36 minutes, which is like, if I was the Mavericks, that wouldn't be too concerning just because he did have 9 assists and 5 rebounds. So just 0% from 3.
Yeah.
So what else do you think we could talk about? You want to talk about the Celtics, Clayton?
Well, the Celtics are not really sure that they're top.
What'd you say, Mason? Sorry.
I mean,
No, go ahead, Clayton.
Okay.
I mean, so one thing is, like, the Bucks are still on a roll, but, like, the Celtics losing those games, like, some, like, easy games, like, against the Knicks and, against a couple other teams, they've kind of reassured that, beating the, Sixers. Like, I mean, it almost seemed like Jason Tatum was really cold from downtown, and then you have Jaylen Brown who was hurt, and then, yeah. And then you have the Suns. KD made his debut. Looked really good. I mean, on a minutes restriction, he played pretty well.
Yeah. What did he have? Do you know? Or I'll look.
It's like 23 or 24, points. He played really well.
Yeah. He had. Oh, I don't know.
Especially on a minutes restriction, which wasn't really a minutes restriction at all. He still had like 20-something minutes.
Oh, that's kind of silly to put a minutes restriction. So, looking at it, going back to the Celtics talk, they're second in the East. Almost said West. One loss behind the Bucks, or I guess in front of, but they're on a winning streak of 1. But whereas the Bucks are on a winning streak of 16.
Well, I looked at the Bucks record. I mean, the rest of their schedule. It's not that easy. Like, there are some teams in the NBA that have like some really tough schedule game, like some games coming up. Like the Bucks. I think they play the Nuggets. They also play the Grizzlies. They play a lot of good teams.
Yeah, they play the. Okay, yeah, I heard you. My bad. So, yeah, it looks like the playoff picture. How many teams are in the playoffs? 8, including the play-in, right?
Yeah,
so
16 in both. Well, 8 in both divisions.
All right, so it looks like in the East it's Hawks, Heat, Nets, Knicks, Cavs, 76ers, Celtics, and Bucks. But in the East, it looks like it's almost like anybody could pull ahead at the bottom of the East. In like the 8-10 to 5. I mean, they're all actually the 11 to 5 could all easily pull ahead in like 3 or 4 games and go straight to 5.
Yeah, but that Bucks upcoming schedule, they play the 76ers, the Wizards, the Magic, the Nets. But this is where it gets really tough. They play the Warriors, Kings, Suns, Pacers, Raptors, Spurs, Jazz, and then the Nuggets, Pistons, Pacers, Celtics, 76ers again, Wizards again, Bulls, Grizzlies, and Raptors. They have a pretty tough schedule considering some other teams.
Yeah, definitely have a tough schedule going ahead.
So, Mason, you have any stuff that you would want to talk about, or you, Sean, any stuff?
Well, I just noticed. Oh, yeah, you go ahead, Sean.
So, some people have been saying Trae Young hasn't had the best season. He's still averaging 27 points this season.
I think it's more about his efficiency. I'm going to try and look. So you keep talking about Trae Young, but...
Well, it's just he's just kind of getting some hate when he's still been pretty decent this season. And that's all I really wanted to say.
So...
Yeah, I agree.
His stats have been almost they've been kind of similar to last season. Like, maybe the efficiency hasn't been there. But this season, he's averaging 27, 10 assists, and 1 steal. And 2 rebounds, or 3 rebounds. I think he should have been, easily an all-star, but somehow he wasn't. I mean, he's still a really good all-star potential.
Yeah.
I think Sean's right.
I definitely think so after looking at it. His efficiency is down a little bit, but not as much as people are hating on him for. He's getting a little much hate on that one. He's shooting 43% from the field and 33% from 3, which really is not that bad, but it's not the greatest for his standards.
Basically,
I was just going to talk about how Jokic has done phenomenal this year. I don't know if he's averaging a triple-double.
He is.
He is. So, yeah, he is averaging a triple-double and on his way to a 3rd MVP in a row. So he is the first contender for the MVP race.
Yeah, him and Embiid are.
Yeah, I think my problem with Embiid, I know this has nothing to do with the MVP, is I just don't know how much I could trust him in the playoffs, especially him and Harden. They just don't seem like they really gel together as much as people thought they would.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't really think you can blame him on Embiid. I mean, he got hurt last year, so I mean, he really did try to bring him back kind of from the dead last year.
Yeah, definitely.
But Jokic averaging 6 more assists. I know 9 points is a big difference. Like Jokic not averaging as much as Embiid, but I mean, I think it could go to either one of these two and be a good decision. I think Jokic has the edge because he has a team with the number 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. So, y'all want to talk about Russell Westbrook on the Clippers? Because I know he's been moved around.
He's done all right. I'll give him some
credit.
He could have definitely done better in that one game.
Last night?
Yeah. He didn't do the best, but...
I have one thing. So, wasn't he supposed to go to Utah, but then they didn't pay his contract? Or something like that?
Wait,
yeah.
where did he...
He was supposed to get traded to Utah, but they didn't pay his contract or something like that. So he went to the...
It was a buyout.
Yeah, he got bought out. That's what I meant. But, so, let me look at his stats from last night and the previous nights. So he had 8 points, 6 assists, 25% from the field, 0% from 3. That's a little bit low for him. But the night where people were saying he did well was he had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals, which that's impressive. And only in 25 minutes. But, so what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, he's played well in the games that they've needed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like...
He definitely did really good in his first game with the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he's kind of fallen back since then.
Well, yeah. The 2 nights later against the Timberwolves, he had 14, 7, and 10 with 1 steal. Like, I think that's almost a better game. Well, definitely a better game because he had 6 more assists, 2 more rebounds, and only 3 less points. But 5 less steals, which that's not a big deal, you know. Steals are obviously a big deal, but it's steals.
And today they play Sacramento, so
yeah.
Yeah. Plus, there's one more topic that we should probably discuss. John Morant, these accusations that are coming up.
We should probably let the Grizzlies fan talk about that. So, Mason.
I mean, he definitely does trash talk way too much, and I feel like he's going to rot his career away
if he keeps up with the stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't know. He's trying to make himself cooler than he. He's trying to act cooler than he is.
Yeah, I think there's so many kids
he's trying to prove he's tough.
Yeah. He's trying to prove himself.
He's tough. He's TUFF. He ain't TOUGF. GH. He is tough with a U. That's what he's trying to prove.
Yeah.
But I just think, so many kids look up to him and so many kids, really think that he's obviously a great basketball player. He's explosive. He's really fun to watch. Obviously, he's putting people on posters every night or every other night, and he's a contender for the best dunk every year. Could play in the dunk contest, but he opts out, and I just definitely think kids need a better role model than that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to predict the games for March 6th, Monday. So, first off, the Celtics play the Cavs. I think the Cavs will win. I don't know, it's just a gut feeling. So, what's everyone else think?
I'll also take the Cavs because last time the Cavs played the Celtics, it was a 4-point game.
No, but the Celtics put in a lot of their bench players at the end.
Yeah. So Mason, what about you?
I still think Cavs.
All right. Mason, what
I
about
think
you?
the Celtics are gonna win.
All right.
I
Mason.
also think the
All right.
Celtics are going to win.
So it's
So what decision?
split decision. All right, that's fine. 76ers, Pacers. I think everyone's going to pick the 76ers, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely 76ers
Yeah.
are going to win that
So
one.
get
All right.
76ers will
Unanimous pick. Trailblazers, Pistons. I think Dame's going to, obviously, Dame's going to be Dame, shooting from half court, the logo, everything.
Dame Dollar.
Damn, for
Dame-
sure.
All right, Clayton, say that again. I didn't hear you.
Damian Lee.
All right, I think that the Trailblazers are going to win is what I meant, so.
Yeah, Trailblazers are
Sean, go ahead. What do you think?
Oh, I also think the Trailblazers.
All right, Mason.
Yeah, definitely Trailblazers.
Oh, next game seems like a good one. That's Hawks at Heat. So, obviously, we were just talking about how Trae Young isn't having as bad of a season as everyone was saying, but just DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, it just seems like I watch them play, and it's almost like they just don't go together well. Like, I don't know why, but that's just what it feels like for me. So I'm going to say the Heat just because Jimmy Butler's been playing well. Or wait, he might be out. I meant Bam Adebayo's been playing well when I have seen him play.
I'm also going to take the Heat with their team. They have great players at mostly all positions. So that's why I'm going to take the Heat.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna take the Hawks. I think they'll just beat them through their guards. I think the guards the Heat have. I think it's a bad matchup for them because they're not maybe good enough defensively to counter those two.
I definitely agree. More in the Trae Young aspect than DeJounte Murray, because DeJounte Murray is mainly brought in for defense. But if you mean Trae Young, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Heat as well.
I'm a loner on this one.
Yep.
All right.
So that means that the Heat got picked on that one, because Clayton was the only one that picked the Hawks.
Yeah. Oh.
So the next game is Raptors at Nuggets, and I think given that it is a home game for the Nuggets, and they have Jokic, who is probably the best player in the world right now. If it's not, it's Giannis or Embiid. I think it's definitely the Nuggets are going to win.
Yeah, that's definitely
I also think the
self-explanatory.
Nuggets. Yeah, I also think the Nuggets because Jokic is just crazy.
Yeah, averaging a triple-double, that's insane. Hasn't been done since Westbrook did it, so.
So, I think it's going to be closer than people think. And I think the Nuggets are going to win. But it's going to be really close to where the people might have to question the Nuggets.
All right, so unanimous decision on the Nuggets also.
Yeah.
All right, this one might be interesting because this team. That's confusing. I'm looking at their record, but never mind. It's not as confusing as I thought. Pelicans and Kings, or Pelicans at Kings, I should say. The Kings have 5 more wins than the Pelicans, but who do you think's gonna win? Clayton, go ahead.
I think the Kings.
All right.
Because I know I said De'Aaron Fox probably wants to leave, but the Pelicans don't have Zion, so they haven't had Zion in a while. But still, I think Kings are going to win.
All right, Mason.
I also think the Kings are going to win because even if Zion does come back, I feel like maybe the team chemistry might not be as good as it is if Zion has been there. So, I'm also going to take the Kings.
All right, I don't think Zion will play, but if he does play, this is an easy win for the Pelicans. I think this is just. I think the Pelicans, like with CJ McCollum, can like match them through 3-point shooting. And then you have Brandon Ingram and Zion, who are just menaces down low.
Yeah. Well, I think either way, I think you all are thinking a little bit too highly of the Kings. And I just think that the Pelicans will pull it out. They'll find a way. Brandon Ingram's good. CJ McCollum's good. Grand Theft Alvarado's great. With the steals, running behind De'Aaron Fox, gonna steal the ball from him, obviously.
Well, to be honest, I could see both of any of those teams winning, but I think the Kings are just going to win.
The overall decision is Kings. So
we're going to do start, bench, cut. We're going to do point guard, small forward, and center. We'll start with center. So, so what we'll do is we'll have Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as our centers.
all right. So who's gonna go first?
Jaden, you go first.
All right, that's fine. Oh, this is tough. So obviously, with Embiid and Jokic running the show in the NBA right now is like the top two front runners for MVP. I feel like I should pick them, but I just don't. Like I said, if I'm keeping them long term on a team, I just don't trust Embiid as much as I trust Jokic. So I'm gonna have to say I'll start Jokic, but this is hard between Giannis and Embiid. Giannis' ability to space the floor, and he's so quick and strong. I feel like he's quicker than Embiid, and he's not as just big. He's not as much of a traditional big man, but he does lack shooting compared to Embiid. But I still think the ability to drive and just Euro step, manipulate everyone in the paint to think you're going one way but go the other, I think it's just brings you far above the ability to be inside and not space the floor is a disability to a team. So I think I would have to start Jokic, bench Giannis, and cut Embiid.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm gonna start Jokic, bench Joel, and cut Giannis.
What?
And the reason behind that is because, like Jaden was kind of saying, Joel Embiid's shooting aspect is a bit better.
A bit? It's 10 times better than Giannis.
Yeah, but I still think it gives you an advantage to have that quick first step and get into the paint quicker and not make your moves as predictable. Like Giannis is so much quicker than Embiid.
Yeah.
But, so why do you... I mean, obviously, I think Sean might also start Jokic just, triple-double almost every night.
Sean, what do you think?
I'm going to start Jokic. The reason is he's, well, as Jaden said, averaging a triple-double. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory there. But then I think I'm going to... This one's actually really hard. But I think I'm going to keep Giannis and cut Joel.
All right. I respect that, especially because... I said the same exact thing, but... All right,
Yeah.
So Clayton, what would you say? Even though I know you asked the question, I know you probably have an answer.
Well, I'm starting Giannis, benching Jokic, and cutting Embiid.
Why is that?
Starting Giannis, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, he said he was gonna start Giannis.
Over Jokic?
Yes. Okay, think about this. I would rather have a guy that is going to win for me on fast break. Like, I know, like, Jokic will slow it down, probably make a better pass, but I think Embiid is too much of, like, a distraction to the defenders, and he's going to be occupied. That opens up other, like, players and stuff. So
Did you say you started Jokic, right?
I benched Jokic.
And you started who? Giannis?
Well, you can argue. I think I could see this too because Giannis is a little more athletic than Jokic, especially on fast break. So
A lot more than a little bit. I will say a lot more than a little bit, just because Jokic, like, there was a video a couple years ago that I saw where these little kids were like, dunk it, and he was like, I can't. I'm like, if you can't even, like, I know he can dunk it, but if you can't just, like, he's, what, almost 7 foot, he's 6'11", you should be able to dunk it without being like, I can't, unless he was joking. But he is the Joker, so maybe he was.
Yeah. Alright, so our next start bench cut is small forward. So, injuries unaccounted for. Zion Williamson, KD, and Jason Tatum.
Okay, I'll go first on this one.
Alright, go ahead.
I'm cutting Zion, starting Jason Tatum, and benching Jimmy Butler because I'm cutting Zion.
No, it's Kevin Durant.
Oh, sorry, Kevin Durant. I'm benching Kevin Durant.
Wait,
I'm cutting Zion because of the injuries.
Well, injuries unaccounted for.
I know, but like
previous injuries, he means.
yeah, previous injuries.
Like the ability, do you mean like the ability for him to get injured again?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
that's just
Alright.
why
Yeah, that makes sense. Mason, your turn?
So I'm starting Jason Tatum. It's basically the same as Sean's. I'm cutting Zion and benching Kevin Durant.
Alright, mine's different. Very different. I would say I'm probably going to start Kevin Durant.
Bias.
Not biased. He got traded. If anything, I'll be
Biased.
against Kevin Durant. I'm not biased. If anything, I'd be against Kevin Durant because he requested a trade just because his buddy Kyrie left. And now he's on the Suns with the most overpowered team in the NBA. Ish. Kinda. But like, the thing is, with Kevin Durant, I feel like you get less ball handling issues. With Jason Tatum in the finals, which is the only time I really watched the Celtics.
He was tired.
Oh, well, if you make it to the finals, that's going to happen, and you have to be ready for that.
No, but like think about it. He was playing the same minutes as LeBron when he was in his first finals run with the Cavs.
Yeah.
That is like literally insane. Like LeBron was carrying his team.
When you're a great player, you have to be ready for that, especially the fact that that's on the coaches, not Jason Tatum. That's all on them because he didn't need to carry the team. They have Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams, Marcus Smart, who was the defensive.
In some cases he did.
Yeah, definitely. But like last year, he was the defensive player of the year, not Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. And I think he's trustworthy to put the ball in someone on the other team's hands, and Marcus Smart will lock them down.
Yeah. Well, mine is the same as Sean and the Masons. Jason Tatum start, KD cut, KD bench, and Zion cut.
But you never let me finish mine. I am going to bench Zion. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to bench Jason Tatum and start Zion.
Oh, I thought you were starting Kevin Durant.
I am starting Kevin Durant.
You just said start. You just said start Zion.
Oh, bench Zion. Or no, cut Zion, bench Tatum, start KD.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Alright, so next for point guards. Who do we have for point guards? I'll go first.
Alright. So, the point guards are, so we're going to do Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, and Kyrie Irving.
Alright, that's respectable.
I'm cutting Kyrie because of his personality.
Yeah, I'm cutting Kyrie too. I don't like Kyrie at all.
And then
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
gonna Tyrese and who? Who's the other one?
It was Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I'm gonna start De'Aaron and bench Tyrese.
Alright, Mason, go ahead.
So, I'm gonna cut Kyrie because, I don't really like his personality. And I'm gonna bench De'Aaron Fox and start Tyrese Halliburton.
All right, that's fair. I think you all are hating on Kyrie's personality a little too much because he'll be fine on your team for a year, and then he'll request a trade, and you can get a lot of stuff from the trade, as in first round picks. But I would say I'm gonna start Tyrese because 10 assists per game is wild.
Well, Jokic is doing it, and he's a center, so,
Jokic is different, though. Tyrese is young. He still needs time to bloom into the, point guard that he will be one day. I think I will definitely bench Kyrie, even though you all were saying you were going to cut him. And, cut... Who's the last person? De'Aaron Fox. I'm going to cut De'Aaron Fox. I think just Kyrie's definitely a better player than De'Aaron Fox. Also, Tyrese is shooting 40% from 3 this season. Which I just thought
Alright, so I guess I'll go now. I'm starting Kyrie and benching De'Aaron Fox and cutting Tyrese. The only reason that I'm doing those things is because Tyrese is really good. Maybe not the points per game I would want, but you gotta think. De'Aaron Fox and Kyrie Irving are the 2 best fourth quarter players this season.
Yeah.
Clutchest player of the year and best fourth quarter player. I don't think you can have a better combination in your lineup.
I have one thing to say, though. So, he's averaging 20 a game. He's averaging 10 assists. So, the bare minimum that a bucket can be is 2 points. So, that means that at least plus 20, not accounting for the 3 that he passes the ball to, that means he's basically averaging 40 points.
Yeah, but you gotta think.
Accounting for.
De'Aaron Fox is gonna score 10, 12 points and have 5 assists in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely one of the clutchest right now.
He's the clutchest right now.
Yeah. And that's the conclusion to the Recess Basketball Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. See you next week.